Hey, you didn't fail because you slipped up. You failed because the moment you slipped up, you hit the restart button. That restart button, that's the ultimate failure, not the slip up, the stumble, right? So if you're tired of starting over every few weeks, then this is going to be the video for you. We're going to teach you how to recognize that problem and what the solution is, so you don't have to keep doing this process over and over and over again all the time. Now, that stumble or slip up was caused by the most dangerous aspect of self-improvement, and it's motivation. Yes, I know what you're saying. We need motivation. Of course we do. But it's only the spark that gets you started at the beginning of your journey, right? And what happens is that you use motivation wrong. You think that motivation is going to be the magic potion that's going to take you all the way to your objective, all the way to your goal. But it's not. It's the thing that gets you started. And that is the two biggest mistakes, right? Every time you get super motivated, see if this is you. Every time you get motivated, fired up, you set an objective. Now, that objective is going to be two things: either an unrealistic objective, a target, goal, or an unrealistic timeline. Because motivation has you so fired up, you think you can go get it right now. And that's where all these problems start, because you start moving forward. As we've seen before in the reset cycle, you move forward, you go on. After a couple days, 2-3 days, a week, 2 weeks, all of a sudden you slip up. You eat that chocolate chip cookie when you shouldn't have on your diet, or you missed a workout, or you didn't work on the project for your job until the very last day, right? It's this problem because motivation doesn't keep going, and it doesn't give us a plan. It doesn't do anything. It just gets us started. So you might find that you've set those things, and they may actually be achievable if you underpin it with the correct structure. So what's the solution here, right? We found the problem. It's that you try to use motivation as a magic carpet to get where you're going. The solution is that you have to use motivation to create the most important aspect that you have. And that's to create immediate action. Now, right now you're saying, oh, I do that, Andy. I get motivated and I take action straight away. Yes, but you use your actions to try to go get the objective. Don't. Use your actions to create the standards you're going to accept for the rest of your journey. See, that's the problem, is you're relying on the motivation to take you there. I'm saying use that initial action, that immediate initial fire up to set your standards, right? It only takes a couple minutes. Set your standards. And what is a standard? Well, it's the minimum you're going to accept on a given day based on your goals and objectives, right? So if your goals and objective was just to move your body every day, like for me, at 62, yeah, I'm pretty fit, but I'd like to be more fit. But my objective is just to get out and exercise every single day. Well, I have some minimums that I'll accept on any given day, right? So I don't ever take a 0 day. I have something I'm going to do on each of those days. It may only be a 15 to 30 minute walk on that day, right? But it's a standard, the minimum you're going to accept. Now, if your goal was to, I don't know, run an ultra marathon, which is 100 miles, your minimum can't be to do 15 to 30 minute walk, right? Your minimums, your standard is going to have to be slightly higher. Maybe your minimum standard for your ultra marathon is to be able to do 3 to 5 miles run on a day, or a 6-mile rucksack walk, right? So adjust your standards based on what your objective and what your timeline is. If you've got a real short timeline, standards are going to have to be slightly higher. Now, this is the thing. Your standards have to be made for your worst day, right? Now, if you're already aspiring to reach that high, to run the ultra marathon, you're already probably a long way along. So your standard won't be 15 minutes. It'll be higher. Every time you meet the standard, meaning that you do it on that day or more, you create discipline. And it's the discipline, the standards and discipline that become your engine to drive you the rest of the way to your objective, right? So you need to build that, use the action to build the structure. And the structure is the daily standards. And of course, then the standards build discipline. The discipline is going to become your identity. By the time you get to your goal, you're going to be known as the person that goes and gets it, no matter what. Right? You're going to be the person that does it, the person that makes it happen every single day. And that's going to allow you to crush your objectives. You know, I know in my 30 years of working with clients, I've worked with, you know, high-level executives and grassroots athletes and all sorts of people. And this is always the thing that gets them going. You know, I can remember one guy in the UK I worked with. He was trying to get his business to exceed his monthly income goal. And when we set the standards, meaning the minimum that he was going to do in his job, how many leads he was going to speak to, how many adverts he was going to run, etc., he blew his goal away in 6 months. He had to reset his goal again to be a bigger goal because he'd already achieved it long before the year was up. So getting those standards in place, using that motivation to get the action to set the standards, right? It's all a process. There's no shortcuts to it. You got to follow the process. All right. Now, if you're tired of doing the restart cycle, definitely download my quick start program. It's going to help you do this step by step, right? It'll help you find something to get motivated. It's going to use that motivation to create some standards, build it the way you can do to achieve. And I'll get you entry into my school community so I can help you, right? And all of that is completely free. Links in the description. Remember, the stumble isn't the failure. Restart is the failure. Let's stop starting over. Until next time, Andy from Stone Age Success.